All right, now to the crisis in Haiti. Last Wednesday, the sitting president of Haiti, Jovenel Moise, was assassinated in his home. And First Lady Martine Moise is still recovering after being shot near her husband. The attack on the president is being called unexpected and comes as a total shock to the Haitian leaders and other world leaders. The White House has stepped in, sending the FBI to Haiti to investigate this crime. Now, in surveillance video, you can see several heavily armed men outside the home of President Moise. Since the investigation began, officials reported that those men were speaking Spanish. We have since reported that those men were from Colombia and have been arrested as suspects in the assassination. Now, 2 men with ties to South Florida were listed as prime suspects in the assassination as well and have been taken into custody. But this story continues to change. Most recently, we're learning about a man living in South Florida who is accused of being a key figure in the assassination, Christian Sinan, who was arrested in Haiti. He's a Haitian doctor who once expressed a desire to lead Haiti in a YouTube video. Now the White House, as we said, they committed to sending FBI in order to help with the investigation, but not so as far as troops are concerned. So please welcome, joining me now is Haitian journalist James Pierre. I love having James to the show because he always breaks down everything in layman's terms. He lets us understand kind of what is going on there. So James, welcome.
Thank you so much, John, for having me.
You got it, James. Well, first and foremost, when this happened, when you heard about the president of Haiti being assassinated, what went through your mind as a Haitian American journalist?
Well, as you know, we all woke up around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning with the news that the president of Haiti was being assassinated inside of his residence. So it was a shock. I couldn't even believe it until, I did my research and talked to so many people on the ground. And we find out that it was real. It wasn't like a joke. Remember that the president several times spoke about a coup against him. We thought that, okay, that may be another joke. It's not true. Then, well, we have it now. It's confirmation that the president is dead, being tortured. We saw the images, very tough to watch. Even an animal doesn't deserve to be killed that way.
Yeah, and we're hearing reports on the assassination. And does it surprise you to hear who may have been involved? Because we're getting new reports that there's a Haitian doctor who may have spearheaded the whole thing because of his political aspirations.
Absolutely. We know for sure that the president had many enemies, including inside of his own party, PHTK. But we never expect that. Now we are receiving more details about the assassination, and I keep shaking on my head and said, whoa, wait a minute. Things are changing rapidly. But again, it's very difficult when we are expecting local authorities to come up with more details. And also we have the FBI on the ground. We have officials from the national security from the United States also helping. We have a delegation from Colombia also helping the local authorities of Haiti on the ground. But we are getting details, and they are very disturbing knowing that this group, how they enter in the country easily, months before the assassination, how they took time to study the residence of the president, especially no confrontation. They get in and out instead of the residence of the president without any confrontation whatsoever. When we know now the chief of police of Haiti revealed that they had more than 20 police officers, specialized police officers securing the residence of the president. We had no exchange, gunfire, and they enter in and out to commit the crime.
Yeah, how does that happen? I mean, how does that happen? Of course, everyone's talking about it's an inside job. How does something like that happen?
According to information that I have so far on the ground, the gunshot started around 10, 11 o'clock. It took about 15, 20 minutes, gunshot sporadically around the area of the residence of the president. The president called the head of security and said, I do not like what I'm hearing so far, noise and gunshot. We need to make sure that I have reinforcement. Apparently, the chief of police said, the chief of head of security for the president said he called the chief of police saying that we may need backup. backup never arrived. And around 11 to midnight, that's when they proceed inside of the residence of the president, knowing that even before they make their entrance, they make announcement, which gave the police officers enough time to prepare for an attack. They use a megaphone to say, hey, we are so and so, which they are not. They said that they were it wasn't a DEA operation, which for our viewers we have to clarify it wasn't. And then they asked the police officers to drop down their weapon, and they entered easily inside of the residence of the president, knowing that when you enter the gate, there are different levels that you have to pass by before you enter the bedroom of the president, and they entered easily to commit the crime.
So James, right now, Haiti, I think is pretty much in shock. I mean, people in South Florida who are Haitian Americans are in shock. What's next? What's next for Haiti?
What's next for Haiti? And I think that we are starting to see on another political turmoil. The opposition leaders, they were saying before the assassination of the president, oh, we have a plan. We know what to do on the ground. Do not worry about it. But apparently it's not the case. Days after the assassination of the president, we are seeing now opposition leaders fighting to elect who's going to be the next president of Haiti. They still cannot come up with a plan. We have two prime ministers right now leading Haiti, one throwing bullets at another, saying that you are part of a gang. The G9 forced the President Jovenel Moïse to elect a new prime minister. We have the current prime minister saying that everything is in control, which is very difficult to understand how everything is in control literally days after the assassination of the president. And we have the international community asking the interim prime minister, we need election at the end of the year.
And do you believe that the U.S. should get involved and intervene with Haiti with the military? Because, of course, that's been a question that many people have posed.
Many people have also asked, how come the United States, considering that Haiti is the backyard of the United States, did not even know about that information? Remember that it's the president of the country being assassinated. I think the United States is studying closely to see, is it really important to have military on the ground? Remember that this is not a good image for the United States when you have military on the ground. The Haitian people never foreseeing well any occupation forces on the ground. And this is also an opportunity to have more rebellion. This is an opportunity to have more chaotic situation when you have another force on the ground.
You know, it's interesting. I've spoken to some of my good friends, and of course, they've told me, just like after the earthquake, that Haiti will get through this. Haitians, as we know, are resilient people. They will make it through this. What are your thoughts on the future of Haiti?
I think Haiti will make it through, but I truly believe we need to start first by justice system. I think the president deserves justice, and I think not only justice, but the president deserves a national funeral. You know, at his level, he's the president of the country. You may like his program, you may dislike his program. I think the interim prime minister deserves to take the time, enough time, to organize great funeral for the President Jovenel Moïse, and from there make sure that we find everybody who are really part of that assassination to literally pay for the crime they have committed. And I think that will ease the level, the anger that the Haitian population is having. Remember, this is a very vulnerable population, and Haiti is still, dealing with so many events, one after another. Now you have COVID-19. Now you have the opposition leader asking some of the part of the population to go on the street to protest. So I think in order to have really a calm Haiti, a peaceful situation like the President Biden is asking, we need to start by justice and having a good funeral for the president.
You know what I love about you, James? I've known you for years, and you are, I think, trilingual. You studied what's happening in your home country as far as Haiti is concerned, but you also keep abreast of what's happening in Cuba and other places.
Yes.
So I want your thoughts on what's happening in Cuba right now, because this is unprecedented what we're seeing.
Absolutely. Remember that Cuba is not far from Haiti, and Cuban population is always watching the political turmoil going on in Haiti or in Dominican Republic to position themselves. I think this is a clear opportunity to say, hey, Haiti is dealing with so much, and they see the position of President Biden saying, we are with the Haitian population. We are here to help Haiti. And now Cubans are dealing with so much in terms of not having food, not having the freedom of speech. They say this is a clear time. They couldn't have that opportunity under President Trump. Now this is the right moment to say, hey, we want you to see our pain. We want you to say something for us. And many elected officials from Cuban descent here in South Florida are asking the same thing for President Biden to say one word. We are with the Cuban population. And until we have that word, we will still see a huge movement, not only from Cubans in Cuba, but also Cuban in the United States and also around the world to have the attention of the international community so we can have some type of change in Cuba.
Amen. Very well said, James. Thank you so much. And yes, a lot of people want to see the Biden administration get involved some way, step in and help the Cuban people, especially for what they are going through. SOS Cuba. Thank you so much. James, I really appreciate you as always, my brother.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
You got it.